Hello everybody, welcome to the Football Philosophy channel. Happy Christmas to everyone. I hope you're all having a fantastic day and or as good as can be. Obviously with the COVID situation, it's not the sort of Christmas that anybody could ever have, I certainly could never have envisaged what would have happened in the year 2020. Hopefully there's massive improvements soon. There needs to be massive improvements because obviously they've now got this vaccine that they're rolling out. I really hope that certainly uh, before the end of this season we'll get crowds into football stadiums. I think hopefully people will be back to normal come the summertime. Desperate for that to happen. As I say, could never have envisaged having a Christmas like this. But as far as is possible for everyone, I hope you are enjoying your Christmas day. Boxing Day tomorrow. United are away to Leicester. Massive game. Leicester 1 point in front of United. United are one behind Leicester, who are in second place, and we're 5 behind Liverpool, who are top. We've got a game in hand, so you would say we're in a good position. I don't expect Liverpool to drop lots and lots of points. I really don't. If we are going to mount a challenge, there's plenty of people in the media now, obviously lots of the fans, talking about United being in a title race. We have played, I think it's 13 league games now. It's not like we've only played 4 or 5 games. But really, I'd like to see us still be there when we've gone past the halfway mark and still be at least 5 points behind Liverpool with a game in hand. That's not a bad position. Because of that, I know the management always say we take one game at a time, and it is exactly the way that you have to take it when you're involved in a football team. You've got to take one game at a time. I don't like the idea of looking too far ahead and sometimes resting players because we've got a big game later on. If you drop too many points, those games later on that you think are going to be big games, they become not so big. If you're not in the race, they don't matter. So even if your players get tired, if you have to rest players later on, if you get injuries, you just need to be in that race. So there's no point throwing away points early on thinking that you're going to have some big games later. So I really am a believer taking each game as it comes, try and win that match. But that's for the management, that's for the players. Fans can look as far ahead as they want, right? So as a fan, I've had a quick look at the upcoming fixtures, and they are coming thick and fast now. United have got 4 games in the next 11 days. 12:30 games Saturday, Leicester away. Then we've got Wolves on Tuesday, and then Aston Villa on the Friday, and then the Carabao Cup semi-final the Tuesday after that. So that's 4 games in 11 days. Our next league game after that run is a little bit of break then in the league. There's Watford. In fact, we've got City in the Carabao Cup, followed by Watford in the FA Cup, and then the next league game after that is Liverpool away. Absolutely desperate for us to win these 3 games: Leicester, Wolves and Aston Villa, not to mention City as well, and get to the Carabao Cup. We're talking about the league here. But if we can beat Leicester, beat Wolves and beat Villa, get a draw at Liverpool, if we can win, obviously, fantastic. But if we can win those 3 games and get a draw at Liverpool, we'll be on 17 games then. We'll be too short of the halfway mark and still in the hunt. If we're still genuinely in the hunt at the halfway mark, me, like lots of the fans are now, I will start getting giddy at the halfway mark. If we're still within 5 points of the leaders with a game in hand at the halfway mark, I would say we are now definitely in a title race. So I'm desperate for us to win these 3 matches. I haven't looked at Liverpool's fixtures, whether there's any chance they'll drop some points between now and then. You can't really be, obviously you hope for that, but you can't be looking at that. You've got to get your own house in order. You've got to win your games, do what you can do, and then see what happens elsewhere, see if it falls into place for you. But without any doubt, we will still be in the hunt at least if we can win those 3, starting with Leicester on Saturday at 12:30, and then, as I say, even a draw at Anfield would be perfect. As I say, in between those times, we've also got City in the Carabao Cup semi-final. We've also got Watford in the FA Cup. It's only a one-legged semi-final, and there's no replays in the FA Cup either. So that's it. There's just those games between between now and when we play Liverpool. So Leicester on Saturday, massive game, got to win it. The way we're playing at the moment, I do feel the players are feeling confident on the day. I think they can probably, they could beat anybody. They could beat Liverpool or City. Of course they could. They played well enough against City the other week, got a 0-0 draw, could have won that game. So I don't think we need to be frightened of these teams. And like I said, we can beat City in the Carabao Cup. I think there's no doubt about it that they're capable of doing it. They are playing well, and they're also playing well no matter how many changes he makes. We made 9 changes for the game at Goodison. You look at Everton's recent form. They beat Chelsea, they beat Leicester, they beat Arsenal in the last 3 games, and we went there and controlled the game. Anybody who saw me rating the rating show yesterday will know that I said yesterday that we controlled that game from start to finish. Everton had a few sort of powder puff shots. A decent free kick from the edge of the box, fairly comfortable save for the keeper. They got a corner out of it, but we basically controlled. When I say controlled that game, we never looked in danger. They didn't. Everton, all right, a little bit of pressure from the odd corner, the odd free kick, but they didn't have a clear-cut chance, not a proper clear-cut chance in the match compared to when we beat Leeds 6-2. Leeds could have had 6 or 8 goals that game. Everton didn't really have a single solitary clear-cut chance. So I think that was a really good performance, and that was after making 9 changes. So where will he go? Well, like obviously, sometimes you look at the league games and you say that league teams for the league, so that you sometimes think that league team will play in the league. And sometimes it's a different team for the cup. And as I say, he did make 9 changes. So I've had a stab at guessing what his lineup will be, as we do for these games. So I have had a go at it, although I do think it's difficult. There's quite a lot of players pushing for a start. I think that De Gea will come back in goal. I think that's nailed on for the Leicester game. I think Wan-Bissaka, Axel did perfectly well, but I think Wan-Bissaka was just rested. I think Wan-Bissaka will come back in at right back. Same at centre-back. I thought Bailey did fine, but I think Lindelof will come back in. I see some people talking about the extra pace. Look, different players have got different strengths. You will let some goals in. You can't sort of think that you'll never let any goals in. So what Bailey's got in his strengths, he might have a little bit more pace than Lindelof. But Lindelof is a better player in my opinion. His control's better, his passing's better, and sometimes you might give the ball away. He's also not as erratic in the tackle. He might not give as many silly free kicks away. So there's all different things that goes into making your centre back. And the mere fact that Bailey's a little bit quicker than Lindelof, if he is, by the way, I don't think Lindelof's particularly slow, to be honest. So I don't think. I don't think, and I'm sure the management, we'll soon see, won't we? I'm sure the management are thinking like this. I think Lindelof was rested. He's had a slight back problem recently, and I think Bailey's just got a game and did perfectly fine. But I think Lindelof will be back in, and Maguire will definitely play, and Luke Shaw, I think, will come back in for Telles. So far, I'm up to David De Gea, Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Maguire, and Shaw. I think that'll be the keeper and the back 4. I think there'll be a midfield pairing of McTominay, I think, will play if he's fit. He did have that tweak of his groin, didn't he, at the end of the Leeds game, which sort of kept him out of the Everton game. He certainly was rested for the Everton game anyway. So I think McTominay will play. I've got a feeling Pogba will keep his place. Now, I feel sorry for Matic. The way Matic played in that game, I think Matic was more influential at Goodison than any player. He calmed it down and he got the team playing from the back. He dropped in between the centre-backs. He dropped into left-back quite a lot. And we played from the back and we played through the lines and I thought we played really well for long periods of that game. And I think Matic was the most influential player. For me, Matic would be a nailed-on starter, but I don't think Ollie's going to see it that way. I think Pogba's the bigger star, but not, in my opinion, the way he plays at the minute. He's playing fine, but Matic is more influential. If you want me to say, does that make Matic a better player, then okay, I'll say it. Matic is more influential and therefore a better player, a more important player to the team. That's the way I saw the game. But a lot won't see it like that. I don't think the manager will see it like that. So I do think Pogba will keep his place this week. So I think Pogba will play. I think McTominay will play next to him. unless McTominay doesn't pass fit, and then I think Fred will come back in. If McTominay's fit, I think Fred will lose his place this week. I think he'll stick with he'll stick with Pogba, and I think McTominay will play next to him. That's what I think he'll go with as a pairing in midfield. Bruno will be at number 10. That's automatic, and I think he'll play a front three. I think Rashford's going to start on the right. I think Anthony Martial will get shifted out to the left, and I think Cavani will play at number 9. In the league against Leeds, Dan James started on the wing and Martial played at number 9. There is a possibility that he sticks with that. I noticed, having got a full game against Leeds, suddenly, he's always on the bench, suddenly Dan James wasn't even on the bench for the game at Goodison, which surprised me. Whether that means he's been rested and he is coming back into the team for the league, I don't know. It could be the case. As well as Cavani played the other day, I do think Martial, you could see the difference when Martial came on. His involvement in Cavani's goal was a stunning piece of play, holding the ball up, turning, running with it, passing it, beautiful play. And Martial's so vital to our team when he plays it, more so when he plays at number 9, I think. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a front three again of Rashford, Martial and James. But obviously Cavani scored a cracking goal, works his socks off, he's a big star. It's a tough one to call. But I'm here to call it. I've got to have a go. So I'll recap. I think Cavani's going to play. I'll recap the team that I think will start against Leicester. Let's see how many I get right. So I'm going De Gea in goal, Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Maguire and Shaw. I'm going McTominay and Pogba with Bruno at number 10. And I'm going Rashford, Cavani and Martial. Whatever team he picks, massive 3 points, desperate for those 3 points, desperate to still be in the hunt when it turns round past that 19th game, the halfway mark. The Liverpool game, by the way, is the 17th game. So I would love to still be, if it's better, fantastic, but I would take it now if offered it, that we could be 5 points behind Liverpool with a game in hand on them once we've played them in 4 games' time. So it's 12:30 Saturday, the Leicester game, BT1. If you fancy a lazy day in front of the TV, Boxing Day, at 3 o'clock, you've got Villa and Palace. That's live on BBC One, so that's free to air. Villa Palace, Premier League football. There's not too many games free to air, so there's a chance to watch a game. That's at 3 o'clock. Also at 3 o'clock on Sky Sports main event, you've got Fulham v Southampton. I suppose the big game of the day, it's not a big game for us, of course, but it is for most people. The big game of the day is at 5:30, Arsenal versus Chelsea. Arsenal haven't won in the last 8 domestic games, so that's another tough game for them. It might be 9 games without a win against English teams, if you like. They've won some Europa League games in that period, but not games against English teams. That's 5:30, Sky Sports main event, Arsenal v Chelsea. Then there's 2 games to choose from in the evening as well, Boxing Day. City v Newcastle at 8 o'clock on BT1, and Sheffield United v Everton at 8 o'clock on BT2. I think I'll have a nosy at Sheffield United and Everton in the evening with my feet up, enjoying my turkey sandwiches, if there's any left over from the day before, which I'm sure there will be. So enjoy the rest of your day. Have a fantastic couple of days. For the rest of today, Christmas Day, Boxing Day tomorrow. Have a lovely day. Watch as much football. You can watch as much football as you'd like to tomorrow. It's wall-to-wall football. I'm really looking forward to it. If you've enjoyed that little show, please subscribe. Please tell all your friends. If you didn't enjoy it, don't tell anybody. Keep stum. Merry Christmas.